Yeah. So someone just suggested you should get into real estate. Walk me through that. Walk me through that. What made you kind of go down that road? And then did you have a lot of supporters, doubters? You're going for this, this high profile type of job, right? Of going to school to be an attorney. And it's like, oh, sorry, actually I'm gonna go sell real estate. And usually we're looked at down here, So kind of walk
Yeah,
me through.
and in fact, I was one of the ones that looked at it that way as well, right? Like
Yeah.
real estate, come on, like but no. So the notion came, hey, maybe you should get into real estate. And what I thought about was this was an area of practice that you were already considering doing anyhow. Perhaps maybe if you kind of get your feet wet and understand the backdoor approach, if you will, of this industry and what this entails, then maybe somehow it gives you greater insight into the legalities of it.
Mm.
And so that's what I thought, right? And honestly, some of that has proven to be the case, believe it or not, because I mean, right, in our industry, we deal with every day is not the same. And that's what I
Yeah.
really actually love about what I do is that there's not this monotonous kind of, okay, you come into the office, you do this. Like you are dealing with different people with different situations, right? Whether when they're selling a home, they might have a completely different reasons to why they need to sell or what's going on. Or versus even when someone's buying and the stories that are coming out of for their reason for wanting to buy, right?
Yeah.
So I took that very seriously on the onset, and this kind of also, while I was taking it seriously, I also had an open mind to just be open to whatever it could entail. And what I did, because and in true Brittany fashion, where I have to do my research, right? Is I remember this like yesterday. It's so funny. I started Googling top real estate professionals in the city of Columbus, and I said, well, what I want to do is if I'm going to consider a career in real estate, I want to go talk to all these people that are top performers, and
Yeah.
I want to hear, who they are, why they like what they do, and what they're doing, sort of thing. And I'm sure he wouldn't mind me name dropping him. Michael Jones is a very good friend of mine, mentor, and he was one of the first people that I reached out to. And I said, didn't know there was a whole hierarchy, right? Just completely like disrespectful. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I just need to speak with Michael Jones. And he's like, who is this? Like, there's a whole, you need to get on the calendar, sort of thing. And I'm like, well, I don't know who you are, Michael, but I need to speak with you, sort of thing. So, anyway, fast forward. He's like, I don't know who you are, but I like you. You sound like you're going to go after what you're going to go after. And
Yeah.
you probably have a viable career at some point in our industry based off of this conversation. So, anyway, fast forward, sat down with him, spoke with him, really got some good insight, and the rest is history. So,
Yeah. What year was that when you decided to get licensed?
2016.
2016. Okay, awesome. Doubters in the beginning, supporters.
Yeah. Well, I remember this like yesterday too. My husband said, listen, he went from law school, okay, and law school was already stressful on everyone else enough, right? If you're going to do real estate, I remember it like yesterday. He said, I need you to be all in. And so those
Mm.
are the words that stick with me every single day that I come into the office or I do anything. I need you to be all in. If you're going to do something, all in. And he supported me from day one. There definitely were, in the beginning, you get the folks that are like, wait, what? You're selling real estate? You were supposed to be my attorney. I don't know if I can trust you with my house now, sort of thing.
Yeah.
um, but eventually, again, everything's relationships. Eventually show the expertise and the understanding of the knowledge and the industry and that you really know what you're talking about, and people open up to you. So,
Yeah. No, that's awesome that you had that support, from your spouse,
yeah.
day one, because some people that's what they need to get it going, and other people thrive on the haters, right? To prove
Yeah.
them wrong. But
Yeah.
when you see, like when I got in, I was engaged to my first wife at the time, but we were college kids. We were already broke anyway, so it didn't really matter if I went
Didn't
into
matter. Exactly.
it didn't matter if I went into a 100% commission job. But having that spouse support, of like, okay, hey, we're going down a different path now.
Indeed. Yeah, it
And
mattered
I
a lot.
love that he said you got to go all in,
Is
because
it all in?
that's hard. I mean, that's hard for someone getting into our business to
Yeah.
jump 2 feet in and run with it.
Indeed. And it wasn't necessarily a smooth process, although I did have my husband's support. But it wasn't necessarily a smooth process, right? You had to think about, so he was still working, but he also wanted to become a full-time entrepreneur as well. And so we had to start thinking about, well, okay, now we're going to have a 2-family household with, like, where's our medical insurance coming from? And,
Right.
these sorts of pieces, right? And so it's just always been kind of, a strategy is one of my favorite words. So it's always been, and it still is, right? As we think about scalability, it's all strategy and calculated risk, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah. Is strategy something that you did from day one, getting into the business?
No. I thought I had a strategy. It took me 6 months to close my first deal when I first got in. It's so funny because I hear even other agents, they're newer agents, they come in the office and they're like, what would you recommend that I do? And I'm like, come into the office. Like, and they're like, well, to do what? I'm like, come into the office. Even sometimes you don't even know why you're in here. You just come in, be present, show that you want to learn, and you never know who you'll meet in a given day. And so my first sale 6 months after I first got licensed was we called it floor time, right? I was just kind of hanging around the office, like, anybody need anything? I do. I don't know how to fix coffee, but I'll try, like, sort of thing. And it came from got a phone call, brokerage got a phone call and said, hey, anyone available? I said, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll go show the house and close the deal. And
that's awesome. I tell agents all the time, in the office, even if you have nothing going on, just to change your environment, to get out of, being at home. At home, we're comfortable, right? We're relaxed. Once you go into the office, there's something a little bit different. Even if you don't know what you're doing, to your point or whatever, it's just being in real estate, even just sitting there, right? And you just never know. One of the best clients I ever had was an investor. Actually met with another agent who was across the hall, and she just didn't seem comfortable with him at the time because there was foreclosures and all of that. I was young, and she's like, hey, you want to work them? And I was like, sure. I think he ended up buying 7, 8, 9 homes through me.
Nice.
Still talk to this. Now I'm just trying to get him to sell them all. But, because back then he was buying them for like, 20, 30, 40 grand. And then now they're probably worth 150, 175 plus. So.
Yeah. Crazy. Well, let me know when he does get you to sell them, so I can loop a buyer in there.
Yeah. He's like, John, I've worked so hard just to get to this point. I was like, yeah, but you're sitting on a gold mine now.